Today I'm covering the 7 healthiest foods you should be eating every single day, plus 3 bonus foods at the end that will complete the picture entirely. Most unhealthy foods on the planet raise your insulin. Insulin resistance is at the root of roughly 80% of chronic disease. So one of the core themes running through this entire list is simple: foods that do not spike your insulin. Keep that in mind as we go through each one. Number 1 is sauerkraut. And this is critical. You want raw sauerkraut, not the kind sitting on a grocery store shelf. Shelf sauerkraut is pasteurized, meaning it's been heated, and that heat destroys the microbes. Those microbes are the whole point. Sauerkraut is one of the most powerful probiotics you can eat, more effective than yogurt, kefir, or most probiotic supplements. 1 cup contains just 1.9 net carbs, mostly fiber, with enormous nutritional density. It is the most vitamin C dense food on the planet. 1 cup gives you over 700 milligrams. That is 10 times the recommended daily allowance. It's easy to digest. People with ulcers, gastritis, or general gut inflammation usually handle sauerkraut very well. It contains glutamine, which actively heals gut inflammation. It's loaded with vitamin K2, which removes calcium from soft tissues, including arteries and joints. The microbes in sauerkraut produce K2 themselves, which is remarkable. It also contains sulforaphane, a compound most people associate with broccoli, but it's present in all cruciferous vegetables including cabbage. Sulforaphane has anti-cancer properties and has been studied for putting H. pylori, the bacteria behind ulcers, into remission. And finally, sauerkraut contains vitamin U, technically called S-methylmethionine. This compound heals ulcers. It builds up the mucosal lining in the stomach, small intestine, and large intestine. Half a cup to 1 cup per day is all you need. Number 2 is arugula. First, it's one of the lowest oxalate vegetables available, which matters if you're prone to kidney stones or joint inflammation. But the main reason to eat arugula is what it does for your arteries. Out of all foods on the planet, arugula contains the highest concentration of nitrates that convert to nitric oxide in the body. Nitric oxide is a vasodilator. It keeps blood pressure from rising, protects arterial walls from inflammation, and supports circulation throughout the entire body. That includes cardiovascular circulation, and also circulation relevant to erectile dysfunction. Beyond that, as a cruciferous vegetable, arugula carries anti-cancer properties. Use it as the base of your salad. Dress it with extra virgin olive oil. Add nutritional yeast if you want. It gives a light cheese flavor and adds B vitamins and amino acids. Number 3 is wild-caught salmon. Wild-caught is the equivalent of organic. You avoid the antibiotics, additives, and synthetic pigments used in farmed salmon. Just 3 ounces of wild-caught salmon delivers 2,000 milligrams of omega-3 fatty acids. That omega-3 is a combination of DHA, which builds your brain and retina, and EPA, which is one of the most potent anti-inflammatories in existence. Anything ending in itis, arthritis, bursitis, tendinitis, you need more omega-3. For comparison, 3 ounces of codfish gives you just 171 milligrams of omega-3. If you're concerned about mercury, don't be with salmon specifically. It's high in selenium, which binds to mercury and helps the body remove it. Always eat salmon with the skin on. Right beneath the skin, you'll find concentrated omega-3 and collagen. Aim for salmon or another fatty fish at least a couple of times per week. Number 4 is cod liver. Not cod liver oil, the actual liver of the codfish. You can find it canned online. Out of all foods including salmon, cod liver contains the highest omega-3 content available. This matters because the majority of people are consuming roughly a third of their calories from seed oils, which are high in omega-6. Omega-3 and omega-6 compete in the body. We need significantly more omega-3 to balance that out. Cod liver is fattier than salmon, and that fat is excellent for your brain, nervous system, and heart. One important note: if it comes packed in oil, eat the liver but don't drink the oil separately. That's too much fat at once for your gallbladder. The canning process does not destroy the omega-3 content. This has been lab verified. If you want a clean, printable version of this full food list with all the details in one place, check the link in the description. Subscribe to Doc Sketch so you don't miss what's coming next. Number 5 is grass-fed ground beef. Not the kind from a fast food chain that comes from hundreds of different sources and the quality is not there. Grass-fed, ideally organic, ground beef is easy to digest and highly bioavailable. Go for the fattier cut, 80-20, not the lean version. Here's why. Lean protein spikes insulin more than protein eaten with its natural fat. The fat slows digestion, improves amino acid absorption, and keeps the whole thing closer to how nature packaged it. The leanest, most insulin-spiking protein available is whey protein powder. Zero fat, pure protein. Ground beef eaten with its fat is the opposite of that. Grass-fed beef is high in B vitamins, zinc, iron and copper. It also contains carnosine, an antioxidant compound linked to longevity. It contains creatine, about 350 milligrams per 100 grams, the same compound people pay to supplement for muscle growth. And the iron in red meat is heme iron, the most bioavailable form of iron on Earth. Far more absorbable than iron from plant sources like spinach. Number 6 is Brazil nuts. Just 1 or 2 per day. No more than that, because selenium toxicity is real if you overdo it consistently. Brazil nuts contain more selenium than any other food on Earth. Selenium is critical for thyroid function, specifically for converting T4 into T3, the active form of the thyroid hormone. Many people with hypothyroidism are not iodine deficient, they're selenium deficient. And selenium is increasingly absent from our soils, which means it's absent from our food. But the bigger story with selenium is immunity. Certain T helper cells, the command center of the immune system, cannot function without selenium. Without those T helper cells, you are exposed. There is a documented correlation between selenium deficiency and susceptibility to serious immune conditions. Autoimmune diseases, Hashimoto's, lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, multiple sclerosis are strongly associated with either selenium deficiency or vitamin D deficiency. Selenium also plays a role in testosterone production, estrogen conversion, fertility in both men and women, sperm motility and hair retention. Alopecia is an autoimmune condition and selenium has shown meaningful benefit there as well. 1 or 2 Brazil nuts per day, that's the dose. Number 7 is extra virgin olive oil. It helps your body extract fat-soluble phytonutrients from leafy greens, so it makes everything else on your plate more effective. The way to confirm you have real extra virgin olive oil is a light peppery or biting sensation at the back of the throat. If you don't feel that, it's likely been adulterated or diluted. This is common with cheap grocery store olive oil. Buy from a reputable source. Extra virgin olive oil is anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and its phytonutrients are roughly 20 times more potent than green tea. It supports mitochondrial function, the energy factories inside your cells. It's anti-clotting. Around 90% of heart attacks are caused by a blood clot, not plaque buildup. Same with stroke. Keeping the blood from clotting unnecessarily is critical, and extra virgin olive oil actively supports that. Bonus number 1 is cheese, full-fat, raw, aged cheese. Cheese is a fermented product, which means it contains beneficial microbes and supports gut health. It is also loaded with vitamin K2, which keeps calcium from accumulating in arteries, joints, and soft tissues, critical as we age. Cheese contains CLA, a compound that supports fat metabolism. It contains butyric acid, which feeds the cells lining your colon. And because it's fermented, the lactose, the milk sugar, has largely been consumed by the microbes, making it very low carb. It is a high-quality, complete protein source. Bonus number 2 is dark chocolate, 85% or higher, or raw cacao powder. This is not milk chocolate or candy. Dark chocolate is loaded with polyphenols and increases nitric oxide production just like arugula, supporting circulation and vascular health. Some people raise concerns about oxalates in dark chocolate. However, chocolate is also high in magnesium, which has a high affinity for oxalates. It binds to them and neutralizes them. Magnesium is deficient in most people. It helps regulate calcium, supports muscle function, lowers cortisol, improves sleep, and supports mitochondrial energy production. Dark chocolate at 85% contains around 6 net grams of carbs, low enough to fit within a ketogenic limit of 50 grams per day. Consume it earlier in the day. It contains stimulants that can interfere with sleep. Bonus number 3 is L. reuteri yogurt. L. reuteri is a specific strain of bacteria that is largely absent from the modern gut, especially in people who are not breastfed or who have taken antibiotics. This microbe has a unique effect. It stimulates the body to produce more oxytocin. Oxytocin is a powerful hormone that reduces cortisol, lowers stress, and increases social bonding. L. reuteri also supports muscle mass and improves sleep quality. It does this by sending signals through the vagus nerve up to the brain. It doesn't supply oxytocin directly. It triggers your own body to produce more. It also helps with CU, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, where bacteria that belong in the large intestine migrate into the small intestine and cause chronic bloating after meals. Half a cup per day is sufficient. You can make it at home with a yogurt maker. If that's not practical, Bulgarian yogurt is a reasonable alternative. Try these foods for just 7 days and notice how you feel. That's all it takes to prove it to yourself. If this was useful, subscribe to DocSketch and hit the notification bell. We put out practical, research-backed content like this regularly. Drop a comment telling me which food you're starting with tomorrow, and come back in 7 days to share your results. Share this video with someone who needs it.